Check, check, check. All right. Oh, can you say something right quick? I want to check your audio levels.
Hey, yo.
Sounds good to me. All right, cool. So we about to get started right here. What's up? This is DJ L7, and today I have a very special guest. This is actually I got Comrade Rose X in the house. So yeah. So why don't you introduce yourself right quick? Go ahead.
Independent communist. I mean, I don't want to like put up, pretentious labels on it,
Right. Okay. Also,
Of course, I mean, I've had, experiences with, some elements of different movements, and I guess I'm kind of like sharing my experience and inside information on various things.
okay. So as the I think the title suggests, like, this is going to give some information on CPI, stuff like that. You said you're a communist. That's quite interesting. So there's a lot of different, flavors of communism, stuff like that. Do you have any particular? So right now,
Studying,
did you go ahead?
multiple different frameworks, because
Exactly.
I mean, at the end of the day, when you're studying theory, you have to kind of come up with your own ideas and see what you agree with and how does it, reflect, today.
So actually, we had talked earlier, right before we started this live stream, and the thing is that you found my channel through a guy named Joey, aka Yankee Tanky, and Yankee
Right.
Tanky was actually able to, you know, I actually did have him on a live stream on my program, and so that's cool. Did you have a relationship with? Did you know actually Yankee Tank? Did you get to like speak with him anything?
Yeah, I mean, I was like his, first Discord mod. And I guess, over time, he had, resentments that he, first took out towards Keaton Mansfield. And there were things I was doing to kind of like help him out, I guess. And I guess, when it came back on him, I took the blame for everything, even though he did have a bigger role than he claimed.
Like you
But
mean as in terms of like Yankee Tanky, like
like, different
going at
troll channels and stuff like that, different things that, exposed Keaton.
Okay, so you're saying that behind the scenes that and I'm sorry, that Keaton Mansfield and Joey, aka Yankee Tanky, had like some type of rivalry.
Yeah, they had like a beef, and I guess a lot of it was left unsaid until one day Yankee Tanky decided to get his story out that exposed Keaton. I guess he thought he still had a chance to make some type of reconciliation with Caleb, but that didn't happen. And I guess like months later, I guess he decided that, he's all in with Infrared, and I guess, he, I didn't change, I mean, I kind of like kept my own, center as far as how I, interpret theory and workers' rights and,
Okay.
class analysis. I stayed the same, but Joey and the new people he brought in, they were, on, completely all in with Haas's, theory, uncritically. So I'm like, okay. And I guess one day I was booted out.
Okay. So the thing
It
is,
was like I didn't change, they did, or something of that sort.
I guess so. So what was actually what do you think was the cause of the beef between Keaton Mansfield and Yankee Tanky?
I mean, I guess Keaton had an actual better relationship with Caleb personally, I guess. And I guess, you know, I guess Joey was just happy to be part of the crew and be, work to organize and what they were doing. And I guess Keaton was a little bit more hip to the game.
Yeah, Keaton was almost
Yes.
was number 2 in the organization, I would say, and then Yankee was pulling a close third, right?
I guess in that John Brown Volunteers branch, I don't know that. Like I said, I was never like really deep into the organization, so I don't know how it was set up.
Okay.
structure-wise.
Another thing that's quite interesting for me is that you said that I believe you're from Texas. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Now the thing is that, and I also have a history with a group called Movement for People's Party, and the fact of the matter is that there was actually a national movement where Nick Brana screwed over so many different regions that only California was with Dora around was under his spell was able to like kind of like stick around, but all the rest of the country, New York, Seattle, New York, Washington, even Texas, right? Yeah, there's a lady named Athena down there, Florida, right? They had all that was in contention, right? Yeah, because they stood people at the end, but there was a whole huge the MPP was going down, but then they were able to kind of like resurrect themselves by trying to start an alternate MPP group with CPI members in Texas, kind of like filling in, or what did they call it, like union busting. They were working as scabs to kind of replace MPP members. Are you aware of anything going on with that movement down there?
I was at, someone like who claimed to be in my city, talked about, hey, yeah, we're gonna meet up and we're gonna do this big drive, and then like I never heard back from that after a couple of days.
Okay. Just to
So
also,
they,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
but so it was just like very brief. I don't know. I think I probably joined a few parties, including Green Party. Just like because it seems like a lot of these Twitter people, they're just like, oh, just join this, just join every org you can and try to do something, and blind leading the blind leading the blind. So I'll admit I don't know much about what I'm doing.
I get that. Yeah, there's a lot of. The thing is that a lot of these groups, they don't really want to train you to. The leadership often doesn't really want to train people, and I get that. A lot of times they're exploiting new people, and they're worried about creating competition for themselves. I understand that to an extent, but it's not really empowering, and it's really up to you to try to really learn. I do actually work with all the groups myself: Republicans, Democrats, Independents, Greens, Libertarians, MPP. I'm down to work with anybody, but a lot of times it's the the leadership ends up funneling people into something that serves their own interests and not the ideals of the organization, and that's quite unfortunate. Also, just to explain your appearance right now, people might be wondering, what's up with the sunglasses, what's up with the mask, stuff like that. You're actually hiding your identity, protect your job, stuff like that. So I'm sure.
Protect my day job.
No problem, right? I completely understand, right? Yeah. Communism is actually, debatable, and also being, around or associated with all this Caleb Maupin thing. I would understand anybody would not want to have to deal with questions about that at the day job or anything. So I completely get that. Yeah.
Boss finds out that your political value means you kind of like, hate, the very thing that they,
Yeah.
profit off of, that kind of like rubs them the wrong way, I guess.
Yeah, this guy might start a union or something. They might do something. They nervous. Yeah, anything could happen. So they worried. So I wouldn't. So I just want to explain that to my audience so that they could understand, like that possibility. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So all right, quite interesting. So, did you get to have any experience or run around with the MPP thing down in Texas? Have you gotten to see anything with that?
I kind of like talked to this one person. I think I went to a couple Zoom meetings, but it was just like a bunch of talk, a bunch of hype, and then, it kind of falls off.
Because they don't.
I dealt with something similar with CPUSA when I got involved, because there was a bunch of local meetings at first.
Yeah, and then unfortunately, a lot of their strategy involves like watching what I do
off.
and then copying it and then trying to copy and paste, right? Yeah, they don't need, me, right? Yeah, they just need my ideas, so they just try to swipe them off me and then try to You could see actually in a lot of the videos that they have now of, the LaRouchians actually like, disrupting, Bernie and stuff like that. They put like the rock and beats behind it. They're copying my style, but I ain't mad, but it's almost a compliment, you know what I mean? So they say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, right? So it is what it is. I'm gonna start a whole genre out here. Yeah, it's all good. So so they invited a couple of Zoom meetings. They don't have anything going yet. You said it faded off. You mean like was the attendance dropping, or was it fading off as in terms of
like activity? Yeah. I think like activity. You know.
But activity means like besides meetings.
Like,
was there anything else
like
going on?
Like the number of meetings and whatnot.
Okay, the number of meetings started to drop. Okay, so like
I think the last couple of times they've ever met up, it was just basically try to get money for people. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, last ditch attempt to try to.
My memory escapes me.
Yeah, they are actually somewhat of a money making scheme right there. They got, you know. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that should be a large warning bell if the last thing things are dropping off and they're making a call for money. It's like, come on, man, you got to earn that. Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I don't make a whole lot of income, and you know, I paid I paid membership dues to a couple orgs just to be disappointed. I'm like, why am I doing this?
All right. So, what do you think is where is actually Yankee Tanky right now? He's been moving all around the country.
He's up in Pennsylvania, I believe now. I mean, he was in San Angelo. I remember him and I were talking about like not being able to make it to the CPI Austin thing or whatnot, not being able to attend. And I think the same month, you know, I went to a Jimmy Dore comedy show just to kind of like make me feel better about missing CPI Austin. That was like my main motivation, you know, was to make myself feel better about missing that. You know,
it's so twisted, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy Dore is a millionaire. And he's got people, right, scrimping and saving, right, yeah, starving, like Yankee Tanky at some time claimed he was starving. I've actually met them on the streets out here in New York City. I have some questions about Yankee Tanky's, he seems very honest, but then the thing is also, right, when he was out here, he was, you know, selling buttons on the street to try to make money. Have you heard about that story?
Yeah, I heard a lot that came out, you know, about, you know, how they were, you know, being exploited by Caleb.
Yeah, so the thing is that he had so little money, right? Like, how was he able to move from, and then he didn't just move directly to Pennsylvania, he moved to several different spots in the United States, but it takes money to move.
Yep, with the, you know, throwing out the Cash App, the PayPal, and the Venmo.
And people end up donating enough for him to.
There are people that are around him that are basically, you know, give, you know, their hard-earned money to make sure he's all right.
I understand. He's a likable dude in some extent.
He does have a reputation with, you know, with some people who, you know, fell out with him about the whole asking for money from people.
Well, I wish
he's asked me for money a couple times, but I couldn't do it.
You know, I don't really get donations like that, so that's I'm glad he could get that. It would help me, guys, but you know, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I gave up on getting donations, so I still put the ask at the end of my videos, but really, I don't think I've received. I received one donation for $50 back when I did the Force the Vote thing at AOC's office, and that's the only donation I've ever received in the whole lifetime of my work. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't have an OnlyFans or nothing, but the last time I got money, someone did DM me asking for stuff.
Yeah?
It is what it is.
Yeah, it's all good. I actually play my violin on the train right now to survive. So I do know the street life. When I was telling them, you know, I can put you guys onto some other ways to make money and make it out here, but they never listened to me, right? Someone who was already on the streets making a living, they wanted to listen to Caleb Maupin, so, okay.
Yeah, I know, you know, with tax season in January, it would be better for me to start an OnlyFans then, since I dodged that bullet if I'm going to do that.
Maybe
I really don't want to do that, though.
Maybe you could do OnlyFans with the without showing your face. I don't know. I don't know that
I don't
market.
know. I don't know. I mean, I've heard some people be able to do that, but I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. Hey, it's up to you. You know, do whatever you want.
Yeah,
There's a lot of different lanes open. I don't
I
really.
just
Yeah.
yeah, it's just a yucky thing.
Well, if you think it's yucky, then you know your heart's not really going to be in it, and are you really going to make quality content? You know what I mean?
Right.
So
That's true as well. That's true as well.
yeah, like, try to find something that you actually like doing, like at least somewhat little bit. If you actually feel disgusted doing it, then it just
Yeah.
seems like it seems actually self-defeating. You know what I mean? So either way, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if that you. I heard that OnlyFans doesn't really even cook up a lot of cash. I heard that it's there's a couple, you know, people that's making a lot of money at the top. You know what I mean? And they sell that sort. Oh look, they're making all this money. But then I hear the average person is really making nothing.
Well, yeah. I know that already. I mean, it's just like with YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I would. So you know what I mean? I think that OnlyFans sounds like a solution, but that's promoted by the industry, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would.
Yeah.
Right, you're out there pumping your content, and then that adds to their massive library. So they could sell more products. So
I mean, it's just like with anything else on the internet.
Yeah. So all right. So that's good to know. So so that's how he was able to actually fund moving around, because I always wondered about that. So
Yeah, he does have paid pigs who kind of like help him get around, I guess.
okay. Are you in contact with so so right now, are you in any camps right now? Are you associated with maybe
It's
the
really
Haas's group?
big. I mean, like, there's a couple of theory servers I'm in. There's, I get some type of, in and out socialization with, Twitch and YouTube streamers, just like yourself, but I mean, like, nothing like major.
What do you think the appeal of? Because I'm actually just interested for myself, right? Yeah. Have you've
Yeah.
seen some of my content, right?
Yeah.
I actually you know a lot of people say they think that I believe in electoral politics, and they say I don't do electoral politics. They're missing the whole point. They're just looking for an easy way to not get involved, to not actually do anything. Unfortunately, that's the way that I see it. Really, it's about community building and understanding pathways, but they don't want to get into those conversations. But when we talk about involvement in actually accomplishing things, right? My hands are definitely all over that, right? You can see me mobilizing with people that are in public housing, people that are homeless, right? All these other different communities that I'm working with, right? What about the what is the appeal of Caleb Maupin, though? What makes Yankee Tanky so loyal to him that he made that those allegations were very serious, right? Not just spanking, but also, which was the most funny part of it, right? But really, pushing them towards financial ruin, and then encouraging them to go into sex work, right? And then availing himself of their services in their financially debilitated state that he kind of set up. Those are serious charges. What do you? But Yankee Tanky went from being a part of the part exposing Caleb Maupin to actually taking back his testimony. What do you think? Being a mod on his server, maybe you have some insight as to. Go ahead.
I mean, he did that, to appease Haas, because Haas kind of like disavowed the making public of that information, because he did a whole stream, when disavowing Caleb, because Caleb kind of like brought up some type of accusation that a troll account made of him in his apology video or whatever.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to understand. So the thing is that I don't really. Can you explain it to me one more time? What is Haas's relationship to? So Yankee Tanky was influenced by Haas
I mean, the Flames of Liberation
Caleb?
guy, the guy who kind of like wrote the article, Flames of Liberation.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, he kind of like talked to Haas about it before he released it, and Haas was like, no, don't do it. And I guess Haas kind of like disavowed the releasing of the Medium article.
Okay.
And I guess
why would Haas Why would Haas
I guess
not want that? He worried it would hurt his brand or something?
Well, I guess, yeah, him being associated with
I could see that.
Caleb's
Okay.
fuck up, I guess, would make him look bad, right?
Also, but I also
That was
heard.
his logic, I guess.
I also heard. I don't know if you can confirm this, but I heard that Caleb was actually hitting on Haas's girlfriend, Samira Khan, and tried to get her involved in something. So I heard that Haas was pretty pissed off about that. Did you hear anything like that?
That I did not hear about, but would I be surprised?
I mean, yeah. So, okay, so interesting. Okay, so because Haas disavowed, but that's before the article came out, right? But you think that influenced Yankee Tanky to take back his testimony?
Yeah, he basically kind of just played stupidity. I guess flame deliberation is seen as the traitor of the record, yada yada yada. And I guess Yankee Tanky is full on infrared, and I guess it's rocking that ideology, I guess you can say.
But I think it would be more damaging to Yankee Tanky's credibility to actually walk back those statements, considering the severity of them, right? If you lied about those statements in the first place, then wow, you're accusing someone of being a groomer, basically. Falsely. I mean, damn, that's almost.
I don't know if he took back the factuality of what he said. I think he just regretted taking part in it. I think that's what it was. I don't remember. I think he just regretted taking part in it and signing off on it.
Well,
it's just
okay.
Really odd, because he kind of like made it a total. He kind of like moved to the far right on his social leanings.
I can understand people want to handle things internally, right? Yeah. But the thing is that there has to be a limit where at some point the leadership has to be accountable. And the leadership has many ways to try to escape accountability. They'll create some kind of existential crisis where, oh, this is so important, you just have to do what we say. Oh, this is so important, we can't be accountable even if we're doing sex acts on people and stealing money. It's not even defensible. I mean, it's just straight up abuse. So, damn, that's, obviously you have that same feeling, or otherwise you wouldn't be here, right? So I appreciate that. Yikes, holy okay, so, interesting. Okay.
Starts and ends with Caleb, then how can you really have a struggle session within to kind of fix that? How does that even work?
Yeah. Now, actually,
it sounded like Caleb didn't take it seriously until it got publicly stated.
Okay, another interesting thing is that, I know you're not from Austin directly, right? Yeah? But I think you did travel to CPI Austin no, you didn't travel there, but you said that around the CPI Austin event that Jimmy Dore actually came to Texas. Am I correct?
It was afterwards. It was a comedy show.
How long afterwards?
It was like 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So in the general time frame right after that, then there was a visit by Jimmy Dore to the area. That's quite interesting.
My city, yes.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, just good to know. All right, so, they're not, people want a smoking gun document, right? Yeah, but, these people are not stupid, right? But you're going to see a pattern of behavior that actually leads to very strong, correlation that, is not this, that at some point is beyond circumstantial, right? So. Good to know, right? Yeah, that itself is a very small piece of information, but when we keep adding these things up, we're going to see a pattern of behavior that really is very difficult to deny, right? Actually, Wayne Garland actually recently appeared on Caleb Maupin as well, right? So, as well as Nick Brana. So these are actually people that are actually involved in trying to help resurrect Caleb Maupin's, credibility and all this other thing. You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess they all have their own interests, and I guess at the end of the day, it's the money and the clout and all that.
Yeah, it's damn. How low do you have to sink to?
Yeah. So if
just have Jeff
Epstein
on.
Damn. Brought on the Jimmy Dore show to put out a certain perspective for his audience, and it's all mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
Because Jimmy Dore doesn't have to take a strong side as far as Caleb falling out with Hinkle and Haas.
Yeah, he has plausible deniability and someone else to make all the moves for him. So, you know what I mean? And he can just sit in the background. It might not even be him. It might be his management team. Remember, he is a millionaire, so there's managers in the background
when you
that
have
are
a
making
big
money.
YouTube channel, you could just act like you don't know everything that's happening under your nose.
Yeah, but yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you see that a lot with those, channels with over 1 million subscribers. We know that they know way more than they pretend to know.
Anybody who's owned a business will know that that's what you think about day and night. You know what I mean? That's your business, right? Yeah? People love to say, oh, the bosses didn't know. They didn't. How did they become the boss? Because they know. Why do you give them so much credibility? Because you think that they know, right? If they don't know anything, they shouldn't be the boss. Then get the fuck, get out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. So, thanks for clearing some of those questions that I definitely been having for quite some. What do you think is going to be the future of? Where do you see things moving with that whole clique and crowd?
Well, I mean, I'm sure that whenever the next big drama happens, it'll fracture even more. I mean, I think that original crew that was all cool with one another, the Pat Sox and the what they call them colloquially,
Pat Sox,
people with infrared and CPI. There was like Midwestern marks. There was a big group of people that got along, but then they all divided up, and got beefs and fractured.
I have to tell you the truth. I don't really know about.
Next big fallout happens, they'll fracture more. That's how it goes.
I don't know about the Midwestern Marxists or anything. I'm actually quite new to that group, so this is new to me. What other groups exist? I would love to contact them and get. I do like to be in all. I actually sign up for every mailing list that I can, so I'll probably join their mailing list to see what's going on, things like that. Yeah.
There's a lot of there's a lot of competing, I guess what's it called, independent media type, whatever. I guess I'm technically one, but I'm a tiny channel.
One group that's
sometimes I'll upload something, sometimes I don't.
One group that's here in New York that's pretty I say decently strong in size is the LaRouchians, right? As a little and I know that they actually did present at the CPI conference in Austin. What is their presence in Texas? Do they have they had that guy running, John LeJohn or something, right? Yeah. How strong are they in Texas? And were they part of that CPI Austin? It looked like a lot of the people there were young, but a lot of the LaRouchians are old, right? Or that's just what I see over here. What is
I mean, a lot of it's just repackaged, right? I mean, like
So
I mean, Schiller kind of does its own little thing, but I mean, like the ideology kind of like carries on through the influences and words of Caleb, Oz, Hinkle. You know what I'm saying?
How do they pull so many people into their events? That's what I'm like fascinated by. And how are these people and how do they get sucked into these realms, right? When these people are just.
I think the attendance was like 50. I think in Austin, I can't remember. I think it was under 100. I think.
Yo, I can't pull those numbers like in the live event. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, like I know people who have worked in church ministry, so I guess. I mean, it's possible. I mean, every Sunday you have like dozens of pastors who pull at least 100, 200 people every weekend,
Right. Okay. So
I guess if if influencers with thousands, with tens of thousands of, followers each get together in one building, I guess you can easily draw a dozen people from the street.
That's an interesting concept. Okay. So yeah, maybe, I like that idea. Okay. That's pretty yo. You just thanks, man. You put some ideas in my head, yeah? I like that a lot. Yeah? So All right, cool. So, do you have any personal political things that you are working on or passionate about?
Now, I mean, I'm kind of like in between, uh, ventures because I don't know. I guess it's kind of like a weird thing.
Actually being an activist for 25 years, I actually joined the Socialists first because they were just the group that was around. I probably would have joined any group that I just saw actively, like, fighting for, people who were, oppressed. So I saw them working on workers' rights, prisoners' rights, political prisoners, stuff like that. So I ended up joining a socialist group back in the day, um, just because they were just what was around, right? And most easily available. But, being in these groups for 25 years, I found that so many of these groups, the implementation and the policy are two different things. So people love the policy, right? Yeah. But that's for people that's for the bourgeois, right? Yeah, which they're troubling. But a lot of them, they like to sit around their coffee tables, sipping their coffee or, wine or whatever, right? Having their intellectual discussions without really hands-on, right? Seeing what happens when these ideas try to go into effect. I've also tried to partake in some different, like, alternative society things, like, where people try to play with different ideas, different trade concepts, right? Trying to get rid of money, other things like that, right? And I've seen these things actually try to be worked and put in practice. And, there's other things that pop up in those types of situations. So, really, the ideology, I would actually say, is not as important as the implementation. So the original advice that they gave you to work with all the groups, if you keep exposing yourself to all of that, right, then you will get a broad perspective and be able to I would think about it as tools in a toolbox, right? Even the communist flag has, like, what, a hammer and a sickle, right? Use a hammer for one thing and a sickle for another, right? So you want to be able to utilize the different tools in the box and use them when they're correct and not just rely on one thing all the time. You get what I mean? So I know it might seem confusing, but I think that you've hopefully, to me, I feel like you've opened up a new world of possibilities. I think that you are now less limited, right? It must be disorienting to try to see all this stuff blow up and fall apart, but hopefully you can come back stronger. And I think that there's a real possibility for that to happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to shatter everything to rebuild back up. Go ahead.
Not only like electoral organizations, but try to find good single issue ones too. It's just like it's just a matter of seeing who's active and who's actually doing stuff.
Yeah. Actually, I personally recommend a path of personal political power. The fact of the matter is that even myself, right? Yeah, I'm not telling you to vote for me, right? Yeah, I don't have the same priorities and perspectives that you do. Only you have that, right? So if I'm really your friend, right, I will say I'm fighting for my own power, but I don't want to have more power than you. I want you to have at least the same amount of power. You know what I mean? Let's come up together. I'm running for my area's local county committee, right? I think in Brooklyn there's like over 3,000 seats, so I promise to never run for office. It's not really an office. Most of the seats are uncontested. It's the most local form of community government, and here in New York, they're responsible for appointing judges, which is responsible for criminal justice reform, for electoral, to make sure that things are run correctly at the ballot box. So rather than work on someone else's campaign, right, which I do that just to learn the system and see what's going on, right, and to connect with other communities, right, but really, it's really a path to self-empowerment and for community building. So I hope that, and by doing that, you'll learn yourself, like, what's really going on and how the power works. You get what I'm saying? So actually we're actually working on making this national. We have access to the voter lists. And I have to find out about Texas because some states charge for it. Some states make it free. But the voter lists are available and we can make them available to you, and you can actually find out you want to go outside and have a rally. That's nice, right? Yeah, people think that's all street activism is. That's because their idea of street activism comes from the TV, which is telling them lies, right? They're not learning from me, a real street activist. They're learning from some cushy ass dude like Caleb Maupin, well, actually he goes out on the street once in a while, right? But he's not really a street cat. He's not really out here like that. He's the guy who sits in his comfortable studio. He usually wears that managerial looking. Did he stop wearing the suit, or is he still wearing the suit in his shows?
Questionable, he could be.
He's not much of a working class dude. Wait, let me take a look right now. Yeah, let me see Caleb Maupin. Oh, this is hilarious. Yeah. Oh, maybe he does it for his show. Let me see his most recent ones. Is he still wearing those suits and shit? I think he started chilling out on that. I've been criticizing them. Oh, he's still okay.
I guess his post cancellation arc is to be more business casual now.
Yeah, why? More relatable or something? I don't know.
I don't know.
There's no consistency or reason, right? Yeah, it's just real dumb. Whatever. So, all right. Yo, so welcome to a new path of power, man. You know what I mean? I really don't have too many other questions at this moment, but I look forward to working with you as time goes on into the future. By the way, you have your own social media, or I think you said you do, right? Also, you said that you're...
Yeah. I have a YouTube channel that anyone who, I guess, watching right now can look up, Comrade Rose X.
Okay. Actually, no, I do have some standard questions I usually ask in the online interview series, such as, when did you get involved with this whole movement? Like 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 10 years ago?
Technically, kind of like got involved this year. I was, on federal. I was on, felony probation until like April 2021. So I guess it's like I was so kind of like disenfranchised. I was kind of like, very apolitical when it came down to it. I guess. I guess, a lot of the anger I had just kind of like, you just have like a lot of raw stuff that, you kind of like have bottled up where you're trying to like seek out, copes and, whatever,
Yeah, there's a lot.
And I guess,
yeah.
When that door of freedom, opened up, then I guess I'm like, okay, so, I started looking into things more often, and I guess there's just a lot of you notice how the world is, with the hierarchies, and you're just like, this shit isn't right, and
and a lot of
you research into things,
so
you come to conclusion.
Did you do prison time, or you did most of your stuff on probation? You did prison time?
Yeah, I did 2 years.
Sometimes they cut time off your sentence if you get like a college degree or a GED or something like that. But the thing is that, right, I hope that as just being Asian American myself, right, we've dominated school for the past 40 years, but we're America's cuck. You don't really know us as activists or anything like that. That shows you that, they sell you that knowledge is like a solution to your problems. That's not true. Right? Knowledge without the power to leverage that knowledge is meaningless. But the powerful and the ones who are in charge of giving you that education, they don't want to tell you that. You know what I mean? They're scared to give you that real information. So really, if you think about what they do to prisoners, they take away all their power, all of it. Thank God that I think that you said you recently got the right to vote back.
Yeah, I got the right to vote. I just can never be a candidate, on a ticket.
But that is the mobilization, and your voting power means something. And if you could mobilize people in your area, people that have also gone through extreme experiences, things like that, right? You could actually be more powerful than a lot of these candidates. A lot of these candidates are out of touch, and actually, a lot of them are executives and fueled by a machine, right? So, I still get like a significant amount of things done behind the scenes. We actually got the New York State Disabilities Advocate restored after a month of protests in front of City Hall, so that was pretty cool. So, yeah. once again, so really this path to power really is freedom. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So another, I guess we're getting towards the end, but right now you said that you have the YouTube. Do you have anything else like Twitter or anything like that?
Twitter, I mean, my handle's Undead Rose forever over there. Dark Rose, I kind of call myself. I think I do have like not a link tree, but what's it called? All my links. Where's
Okay.
the link tree? I'm trying to remember. Genevieve Prayer Rose link tree, I think.
You said Guinevere plugs link on the link tree.
Genevieve Prayer Rose link tree. There's that as well.
Okay.
It does kind of like tie into a lot of social medias I have, to like Instagram, TikTok, and all that.
No, just put it as a comment below, like on this video, and then I'll just pin that so people can get all your information.
Okay.
Also, make sure you put up your, I know that you said right now that I know you have a job right now, but there's some financial things that people like yourself that are putting in time and not getting paid for, while people like Caleb Maupin making lots of money abusing people, making them sell his books. People like Comrade X over here need support, so make sure you put in, do you have like Cash App or anything like Venmo, and hopefully people could donate to you, because
Rose X, with the dollar sign in front.
Yeah, people like, and put those links in there as well, right? Because
right.
y'all need to really support the workers out here, right? Yeah, and not just the celebrities and the thought leaders. Okay, that's if y'all really about helping, the people, then go ahead and help the people. You get what I'm saying? So what are your plans for the future now that people have your information right now? They're people are saying, like, so now they have access to like how to subscribe to you. What do you got coming up for them to look forward to?
I mean, I've been thinking about more IRL streams, because that you are crashing at protests kind of got me thinking, damn, I could do that,
I'd love to do more work with you personally, right? Yeah, let's continue our network.
I mean, because I'm not the most well-spoken, eloquent, theory person, and I don't know. Sometimes I'll try to like report the news, but there's so much out there, and it's just like hard to like upload several times a day to kind of like keep everybody updated on what the world at large. You
know what? Everybody has their own theory on how to do things, but
yes.
If you take a look at there's what some people do is they'll go to the algorithm, or they'll try to like jump on the topic of the moment, and that's cool to an extent, right? But then remember that you can always be beaten out by someone else who's better looking, or someone else who has better access for whatever reason, right? Money, connection to celebrities that probably has ties to corruption, blah blah blah, right? Yeah, but nobody can really.
Not political YouTube shorts that have done better than my actual politics.
Yeah, but
you know how that goes.
Yeah, but as in terms of like local information about what's going on, like the information I got from you today about learning about what's going on in Texas, things like that, I am super interested. There's a lot of movement, there's a whole new population of people that moved from California to New York. Many people, I think Joe Rogan moved to Texas, Louis Rossman moved to Texas, right? Yeah, there's a lot of money and talent moving to Texas, and that's interesting to see how the demographics of Texas will change. I think it's definitely a place to watch, and I'm so happy to have a connection down there that's actually willing to produce content on a regular basis. I would love for you to be part of a network of other content producers like myself, and I'll tell you what's going on in New York, and you'll see me actually there interacting with this shit, you know what I mean? Actually, another thing that I would like to actually propose to you is, just so you know, in Brooklyn, it's called Brooklyn Cable Access, you can get your content aired there without actually living in New York. They've taken off the residency requirement. So, but even if they had the residency requirement, right, I will be willing to insert your footage into my show and then air it on all the New York City, right, cable access channels. What I would ask for you to do, right, and then we could put that show maybe on right? Because you would also be in it. Maybe we put that in Texas. We also air that I have connections in California and Washington State, you know what I mean, and in Illinois. We're going to put all over, right? We put in Florida, we're going to put these videos all over. You get what I mean? So we could really build our own independent network of people that are making that are focusing on our narrative and what we really see going on versus what the mainstream media is telling us to pay attention to. You get what I mean? Sound cool? Hell yeah. All right, so Comrade Rose X, yo, what's up, yo? So any last words before we end the live stream? Let me check the chat right now to see if anybody has any questions from my audience. Yeah, let me just check that right quick. Boom. Okay. Oh, there's a couple people watching right now. So, okay, cool. Oh, yeah. Okay. Someone named Blue Sparrow says same illogical beliefs. Okay, I don't know what that. It seems to be critical, and that says Yankee threw him under the bus. Oh wait, so that sounds like they're on your side, right? Because if they're throwing you under the bus, then that would actually be negative. So I don't know who Blue Sparrow is, but you know, it seems to be supporter. So cool, you know. Either way, I don't know if you know who that person is, but join the. Do you have a Discord server of your own?
I've had bad experiences in trying to have Discord servers, you know.
Yeah, it could be a big hassle. Yeah.
One of you motherfuckers are just like, you know, there for the wrong reason. I'm like, yeah, I gotta kill this shit.
Yeah. You start letting like the general public in, and then, you know, people come in and they start posting like, you know, pics of like criminal stuff, and you're like, get out of here. You know what I mean? They're trying to, and then leading you to problems. Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah. But anyway, DJElf7.com. I do have a Discord server myself. Elf7 Arboreal City. Y'all are welcome to join. And just be part of the community, yeah? So, any questions from the chat? Now that one more person jumped in. Any questions from the chat? We're about to end the live stream. Your last chance to ask questions directly to Comrade Rose X. I think this is one of the, you know, considering what's going on locally, this is very interesting for myself. So, anything else? All right, I guess that's it. So, hey, thanks a lot. God bless, all right? Thank you.